Here's a famous joke. You know this joke? A young businessman met Bill Gates or someone like that who was very successful, and he said, "What is the secret for success?" And the billionaire said, "Oh, you just have to know two things. The first one is don't tell everything you know." That's the end of the joke for the people who were too slow to. No one laughed.
いや、今のはちょっと笑ってもらいたいところで、成功するのは全部言っちゃいけない。That's it.
The end.
The end. もう一度、again.
What? I should have said.
Do not tell everything you know.
Right.
The end.
I love computers. They're so obedient till they crash. So the first piece of advice is don't waste your time. Whatever you do, don't listen to popular music. I was going to say don't sleep, but I sleep more than average, and so I can't tell you not to sleep. It's probably bad. But don't waste any time doing things you like. Instead, you should try to find something you like even better. So don't watch soccer or robot soccer or... I don't follow... Sometimes I watch women's tennis. I have to admit. But I don't watch golf. If you're in college or school, don't take a course if there's a good book. Now that's difficult advice because, and it's not fair, because some people learn by hearing and some people learn by reading. And sometimes I ask students, why do you come to my lecture when you could read The Society of Mind? And a few students told me, because when I read a book, it doesn't come to life and I don't get it. And when a person is talking, I understand it. So most advice isn't good because it won't work for you. So when people give you advice, first you should say, maybe that advice is good for my friend, but not for me, and you may be right. So that's another problem. The second piece of advice is terrible. Avoid subjects. I wonder if I can get the power saver to stop. Excuse me. I like the Macintosh. But ever since it switched to a Unix system, it got much harder to... How about better performance? That means waste energy. Oh, and don't put the display to sleep. And who knows what else. Never letting your display sleep may shorten its life. Isn't it nice of... You know that to change the light bulb costs $300? Very funny. I don't know what to do about this second one, but when I have a really good student, I tell them don't study computer science. Why? Well, if you study mathematics, you might learn in the theory of groups what a kernel is, and you might learn how to factor groups and theorems like that. And when you learn those, it's good for 100 years, maybe 1,000. Mathematics is permanent. It's really very strange and different. If you learn something about computers, you might learn something about how the Unix kernel works. Well, I think Unix will disappear as soon as somebody realizes that this is an almost 40-year-old system, and the only reason they have it is that it's cheaper than Microsoft and probably a little bit better. But why would you be using an operating system that's 40 years old? Do you think there haven't been any good ideas since then? No. It's because most people who are experts at computers haven't learned anything since Unix came out. It's shocking. There used to be machines based on Lisp where the operating system was written in Lisp. And if you were incredibly smart, you could understand everything in that system because it was clear. And we should be using something like that. But instead, people use things like, Windows, where the code that you're using is secret. Geez, how can you stand for that? Would you drive a car if you didn't know that it burned gasoline and had cylinders? Maybe you would.